Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the War for Cybertron Siege. This is the 35-year anniversary cell shaded Megatron figure. So we're going to have a quick look at him in both of his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We'll have a look at the accessories that come with him. We're going to of course do some comparisons with, let's be honest, this is probably one of the most used molds in the last 5 years. So we can see, wow, he's falling over, how much I suppose has changed from the first to at the moment the last use of the mold. We can also bring in a couple of different generation 1 Megatrons as well, because again they've all got different color schemes, and we can also bring in some of the Megatrons as well, just to see I suppose how much this figure did improve on the previous ones. So as I start to move all these out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if I'd hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me out. Right, so yes, this is a figure that I've gone back and brought, and in honesty I wish I'd have brought it at the time, but yeah, I suppose 5 years ago, just before we were going into lockdown etc., I wasn't really buying figures, and to be honest at the time I wasn't maybe as much of a completionist. I was more concerned with the generation 1 Japanese stuff. I just completely let this one go, but I'm really pleased to have it now in my collection. I love it, and I love the fact that we're obviously going to get a comic book, a few figures coming out very soon. So trip down memory lane, here's the old packaging, very similar to what we're getting now, but of course with this there's beautiful artwork there, but we haven't got the normal siege artwork there. And again, as I say, this is exactly that, it's just the siege mold, so it's just a different deco on it. I think I've got about 14 I think of these particular siege and Earthrise Megatron, so it is a very popular mold. This is the first one, so this is your standard siege, and what I really liked about this was the fact that, you know, it brought in something different. It brought in the battle damage with the figures, and that's exactly what it is. The head sculpt on it is great, etc. This is this particular one, and then I know obviously that this is the Earthrise mold, but this is the dramatic capture Megatron. So I suppose, as I say, you've got first, you've got one in the middle, and then at the time of making this video, and hopefully this is the last time they're going to use this mold and give us another Megatron. And again, they all look spectacular. Let's move him out of the way. And again, one of the main reasons, not just the fact that they had battle damage, but one of the main reasons I really like the figure is because it was such a step up from this in a completely different league. I mean, look how hollow and light and everything this particular one is. I know saying that there's obviously gaps on his forearms etc., but this figure's smaller than this, and this one's much lighter than that one, so it was nice to get such an improved update. Right, let's have a look at it then. So the head sculpt is great, it will spin all the way, but all the way around it should do. I think it does, but I don't want to break it. I've said that. It should do. It's on a mushroom peg, but I don't think it does. The arms are going to go all the way up to the side. They're definitely going to go all the way around. You've got a swivel at the bicep flexion. No swivel on the wrist because they're going to tuck into there. You can see you've got a waist swivel. Legs will kick all the way up, all the way back until they're hindered by the backpack. Swivel at the thigh, bend at the knee, ankle tilts and rock, and again you can put your toes and your heels down as well. So as I say, very overly used mold, to be honest. The accessories, which were great, huge giant sword, which of course then folds out. Does it? I'm sure it does. I don't think this figure's been used, you know. And then that will double up as the tank barrel, which we will see in a second. Let's pop that in his hand. What a hugely crazy, that reminds me of a throwback, as I say, to the Japanese one. And in fact typically I haven't got the sword out, but in the original Japanese G1 Megatrons he didn't have a fusion cannon, so he had a sword, which I'm going to go and grab right now, because there's the original Japanese one. There you go, and let me just get the sword. So yeah, most people obviously remember Generation 1 Megatron having this particular weapon, but I was actually referring to the sword, which is this. So this is the original weapon that came with G1 Megatron in Japan, and as you can see, it's a brilliant homage to that thing, but of course without the chrome. And that is because, as I say, you can even see on this guy that he doesn't even have space or any connectors on the shoulder to put the stock on. So like I say, very strange. In Japan he didn't come with the stock and the arm cannon at all. Right, enough about him. It's about this particular figure anyway. And of course you can pop, as you saw, you can pop this anywhere, but of course it's Megatron, so it's got to go on to that particular forearm. So to be honest, when I'm displaying him, I'm probably going to pop this in this particular hand. The cell shading is on the front, on the bottom of the legs, all around the sides, and as you say, even on the cannon. All right, there isn't really much more to say about this particular mode. I'm intrigued to see what he looks like in tank, so let's have a look at the tank mode as well. Okay then, here he is in his alternate mode. Apologies, no transformation process on this video. That is to keep the main length of this video down. And also, if you want to, you can see it because it's uploaded in its own tutorial. So here we go. And to be honest, the cell shading, it's not as noticeable, I don't think. It just looks like stripes, I suppose. It looks a bit like a camo deco from, again, another one of his older figures, or in fact, the unreleased version of him, I think from Generation 2. What I do still like, though, is you can rotate this near enough all the way around. If you take this part out, you can rotate it all the way around. It is, of course, blast effect compatible, which is brilliant. So you could pop that at the front. Can you pop that one in the back? I'm not too sure actually what's in the back. No, you can't really pop anything in the back, but you can of course pop all of these in, and again make some really good pictures. I'm not very good at them, I do confess, but also you've got the 5mm ports everywhere. So of course you've got the Battle Masters, all the old figures, you know, that you can attach, all the old weapons, any of the, you know, 5mm ports, industry standard, will fit onto all of these. It's not bad, obviously, because I think this is obviously the Cybertronian mode, so there isn't really any tank treads, and of course he's still got his visible head on the underside. It doesn't look anywhere near as good, I don't think, with just the small tank turret, sorry, the small cannon at the front. And I suppose this is where, you know, we just do definitely now have to accept that we're never going to see him in his original Generation 1 form. It doesn't look too bad. It does, as I say, now it means that you can pretty much spin. He says that, and he's just going to knock the toes. No, you can't go all the way around. It does catch that part there. It looks okay like that, but I don't think it looks as good as with the huge full part in it. But there you go, that's all there is in that. We're going to come back for the final time and have a look at how else you can use this weapon as well. Okay, then back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and that is exactly how I'm going to be displaying him. I just very quickly wanted to show you that you can as well spin this around. In fact, we'll keep it at the back, to be honest, and then you can take the normal fusion cannon, you can attach this to the back as well, and then you've got a giant other cannon as well that you can either pop in his hand like so. Oh, I'm going to pop on his forearm first and foremost, to be honest. You can have that, which looks huge and ridiculous, or you can have, if we bring these all the way around to the front as well, clip these back in the side, and again you've now got a huge stroke weapon. In fact, I wonder if you can pop it in the forearm there and then spin it round enough for him to be able to grab. Yes, you can. You've got a huge weapon there, like bayonet stroke massive fusion cannon. That looks pretty cool actually. Only problem with that though is it's going to take up quite a lot of shelf space. So to be honest, what I think I'm going to do is just keep them separated. This is definitely, as I say, got to stay there on his forearm. And then this one, to be honest, as I say, we can wield around as a giant sword. There you go, guys. This was the 35th anniversary special edition cell shaded Seige Megatron. Let me know what you think of him in the comments. Maybe you've already got him. Maybe you've got the Optimus Prime one as well. Let me know what you think. Take care.